Today's horror manga dub in narration is My Dear Ancestors by Junji Ito. Before we start the video, I'd like to thank Miss Fearsome83 for helping me with the dub and narration this time. I really appreciate her work, and you can check her out in the description below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into the manga.
This is your house, Riza. Do you recognize it?
Riza just stares blankly.
Riza, what are you doing here so late? Oh my, did you bring Makito home with you? It's sort of a strange story. Strange how? Well, you see, I saw Riza on my way home from school and I said hello, but she wouldn't respond and has been acting odd. She doesn't seem to remember me or where her home is. What do you mean? Riza, honey, answer me. It's me, your mother, Riza.
There's no signs of brain abnormality. It's probably an emotional problem caused by an intense mental shock. Can you imagine what it could have been?
I haven't the slightest.
In any case, let's take treatment one step at a time. Later that day, Makita rings the doorbell to Riza's house.
Why, hello there, Makita. Did you come to cheer up Riza? Well, please come in. How is she? She still can't remember anything. She must have experienced something awful. Can you think of anything? Like something that happened at school? No, not at all.
Makita joins Riza in her room, but she still seems very down and shocked.
Your name was Makita. Good evening. I still can't remember.
That's all right. Think of it this way. We get to start over from the very beginning.
Start over?
That's right. We can experience everything all over again like it was the first time. I'm getting excited thinking about all the fun we're going to have.
You mean you and me?
That's right.
Like what?
That's a secret. We gotta make the most of this blank slate.
Later that night, it appears Riza is having some sort of nightmare, some sort of strange feeling.
What is this feeling? What's causing this unexplainable dread?
She can't seem to shake this feeling. She can't quite put her finger on what this unexplainable dread is. The door rattles and clumps until the door begins to slowly open. It slowly opens until she sees just a little bit of spikes. Then she sees a spiky head. It reveals itself. It appears to be some sort of giant centipede. Riza screams in terror. Riza screams once again as the centipede slowly approaches. Screaming from the top of her lungs, her parents hear it, climbing up the stairs. Riza, why are you screaming?
There was a giant caterpillar.
Huh? Where did it go? Riza, you were just having a bad dream.
Huh? Makita, I think I'm going to go crazy if I don't do something. I'm starting to see things.
A giant caterpillar? Why would you hallucinate something like that?
I don't know, but the fear was real. I'm worried it'll come back for me.
Let's go for a walk. It'll cheer you up. I'd start seeing things too if I spent all day in such a gloomy room.
Maybe you've got a point.
On their walk, they journey to a river. The two of them sit down and talk. There's one thing I got to say to you.
What is it?
I love you. I said the same thing to you before, at this very spot. Do you remember?
He doesn't answer.
Well, is that so? I wonder what it's like to lose your memory. That's an interesting thought. If I forgot who I was, wow, it's scary just thinking about it. You'd lose all your best memories. That's just too much for me. But don't worry. Risa, you just need to make new memories. That reminds me, do you want to come to my place? My dad's there, but he's sleeping, so it'll be okay. Come on, let's go.
And so, together they venture to his house.
What's wrong, Risa? Come on in. You up, Dad? I'm home. Risa came to hang out. Asleep as usual, he smiles.
Is your father's sickness serious?
He used to be a writer, but these days he can't put pen to paper. He used to write historic novels and stuff.
And your mother?
They tell me Mom died shortly after giving birth to me. What's wrong? You look on edge, Risa.
No, it's nothing.
I guess this would be the first time for you coming here, huh? But you used to come here all the time.
They hear a noise. More noises coming from the door.
What's that noise?
My dad, he must have woken up. This will be the second time you've met him.
Risa looks over hesitantly. The door slowly opens with a faint creak. Then 2 feet come out, followed by 2 legs and a hand. It appears to be Makita's father.
Oh, Risa, thanks for coming. I thought I'd never see you again. Don't overdo it, Dad. You should go back to bed and rest. What? And be rude to the little lady that's going to marry my son? What are you saying? Risa's lost her memory. I see, 'tis a pity, but it's nothing that won't heal over time. Unlike me, who worsens with time, I don't have much longer. Risa, honey, take care of Shuichi for me after I'm gone. Don't be so morbid, Dad. Besides, Risa doesn't remember that day she promised to marry me. You're only making it worse. I see. My apologies. I'd rather you say these things than me. Don't worry, I can take the hint. I need to get back in bed anyway. See you later, Risa. Enjoy your stay. And please, please take good care of my son. Oh, daughter-in-law. Don't mind me. Farewell.
He slowly emerges back into that room. Risa looks so scared and terrified. Later that day, Risa finds herself unable to sleep as an immeasurable dread, an unspeakable dread, looms over her. What sort of horror could she have witnessed that caused her to lose her entire memory? It must have been horrific. She explains how it's gotten worse since she went to Shuichi's house, and that house, it might hold the reason behind her amnesia. Risa, honey, Shuichi's here to see you. Come, hurry downstairs. Shuichi looks like he's in a hurry.
Risa, sorry to barge in, but we need to talk. Dad's at the end of his rope. He called out for you in his delirium. Will you come see him?
Risa, despite her better judgment, hesitantly agrees to go for the visit.
There's no time to talk. Dad, I brought Risa for you. That's his room. Let's go. Dad, here's Risa. You with me, Dad? It's Risa.
Shuichi's dad seems to be suffering terribly. Risa looks over and screams. What she sees is Shuichi's dad, with a giant centipede-like structure emerged from his head. It almost looks like multiple foreheads, multiple heads, interwoven between one another. Risa screams from the top of her lungs.
I can understand your surprise. The last time you wandered into Dad's room, the shock gave you amnesia. Then your subconscious rationalized it as a huge caterpillar, hence the hallucinations. But this is no caterpillar. It's the collective skulls of my ancestors. Their scalps are still attached, of course. So are their brains. My grandfather's head is on the top of my father's. My grandmother's on the top of my grandfather's. Then my great-uncle. Then my great-aunt. Then my great-grandmother. Then my great-grandfather and his siblings. And after that, that's my great-grandfather. My great-great-grandfather, in fact. And so, the minds of my ancestors stretch back beyond the ages. I don't know what century the head at the start of the chain was part of. What I do know is that they are still connected to their offspring by a bond of blood. Their brains are still living, still thinking. And when my father joined minds with my ancestors, he gained access to their memories. Shuichi, I can't hold on anymore. We're almost out of time. Hurry and do what must be done. We need a progeny. I know, Dad. I know. I'll be a part of this lineup someday too.
Riza in shock begins to sweat.
I remember everything.
Risa, you've got your memories back. That's great. So you remember me proposing to you? And do you remember how you accepted? You said you'd marry me.
But that was before.
Risa, there's nothing to be afraid of. I just need you to make a baby with me. You don't understand, Risa. I'm my family's last hope. If I don't provide an heir, the bloodline will end with me. The knowledge kept over the long centuries will be lost. I can't let that happen.
No, I could never marry you.
Risa.
Never. I'm out of here.
Risa, wait! There's nowhere to run. I've locked all the exits.
Riza trips over something. It appears Riza tripped over the long intertwining centipede of heads. She screams in terror.
You can't outsmart them. They're as old as history. Risa, I'm running out of time. You're mine now.
Never. Stay away.
But something appears wrong with Shuichi, like he's suffering. Riza looks baffled.
My head! Dad! Oh, Dad! Dad's dead!
He fumbles to the door, and then shuts it. The trauma gets to Riza. She's shocked for words, but then the heads begin to move. Riza dodges them at once, placing her back as firmly towards the wall as she can to avoid them. It slithers quickly. She doesn't know what to say until...
What's going on?
To figure out what's going on, Riza slowly approaches that shut door. She fumbles the door handle until it opens. There she sees Shuichi's father, with his skull ripped from his body, his brain and all.
His scalp is gone.
Riza sees someone crouched into the corner, with blood all over his clothes. She looks hesitantly. It's Shuichi. Shuichi is putting his head into something. He is putting his head and attaching it to the scalps of his ancestors. Shuichi begins to laugh. Riza screams in terror.
What are you waiting for, Shu, honey? Grab that hussy. Listen to your grandmother. She's your last chance at a wife. Fulfill thine duty. Not everyone at once. I can't think. If I knew Dad was going to die so soon, I would have moved faster. Don't worry. I'll make her marry me. Wait, Risa. You're not going anywhere.
Riza screams in terror.
Risa! Risa, sweetheart. Let Shuichi have you. Risa! Risa! Don't worry. Shuichi is here.
Riza screams in terror. Once again, she is traumatized. Struck for words, she just mumbles.
Looks like Risa lost her head again. It's easier that way. Now for the wedding ceremony. Done and done. our family is safe for another generation.
And so ends the tale of my dear ancestors. I suppose you'll all be more careful when picking a potential partner now, won't you? Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to comment and tell me that you like this format so I know to keep making these type of videos. And don't forget to like and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching everyone, and remember, you're important and you matter. Have a great night everyone. Goodbye.